So this is a typical show flat and how it looks like post-launch day. Can you still enter when there is no one else buying? There is absolutely no one in this show flat, and is it too late? Have you missed the boat? If there is no one here, can you still enter? Because Singaporeans, we always like to see long queue, and when there's long queue, you would think that there is a lot of hype, there's a lot of excitement. And now if it's empty, can you still enter? Can you still buy something? I'm sure you have seen in the headlines appearing in the news that there are some projects that does very well on launch day, like Lentor Mansion that sold 75% on launch day, Jayden sold 88% on launch day, and Grand Diamond sold over 54% on launch day. So in whatever show flat that you have been to, you may find that the price have gone up since the start. And if you have missed out buying a unit on launch day, is it still possible to go in knowing that your neighbors have bought it at a lower price? So here are two important factors to take note of. Number one is the current take-up rate of the project, and number two is the price adjustment of the project. In fact, a slower take-up rate can be even better because there will be more opportunities for you to enter since the developers can slowly stage up the price. For example, Florence Residence had only a take-up rate of 15% during launch day. And looking at the price trend, the owners here had generally made over 300k in profit. It's interesting to note that buying on the launch day does not always guarantee that you will buy at the lowest PSF. During the launch day on July 2018, you can see that there's an owner here who bought a two-bedder, 710 square foot, and he purchased his two-bedder at 1,657 PSF. But 2 years later, there are owners, not only one, who bought a unit of the same size at a lower PSF. Can you imagine being the first owner with an only annualized profit of 4.9% while the rest had a return of 9.1%? So there's actually a sweet spot, a window of opportunity during the first 3 years where the prices hasn't really gone up during this period. In fact, it was almost stagnant during the first 3 years before it increased rapidly till the project TOP in 2023. Another example is the Florence Residence. So during launch day, there was only a take-up rate of 3%. So this have left everyone doubting whether Florence Residence would be successful or not. It started out at 1,436 PSF and now is averaging at 1,776 PSF. Looking at how Florence Residence has performed just within that 3 years, 7 months, the highest profit was at 650k. And there were a lot of other owners that also made 400k above. So actually, in this sense, there's a slower take-up rate and that gives you more opportunities to enter. And one way you can decide when to enter is to break down the units into the different bedroom type, because the price trend will look quite different for the different types. So this is for the one-bedder. It started off at 1,459 PSF with the highest transacted at 1,871 PSF. And if you look at the price trend, there's a window of opportunity for the first 1 year. Prices have not really gone up during that period. Similarly, for the two-bedroom type, there was only an increase of 5% from launch to Q1 of 2020 before the price started to move up rapidly. Comparing with the three-bedroom type, there were 2 years where it only rose by 8% before the price started to move up rapidly. So the window of opportunity here was before Q1 of 2021. Similarly, for the four-bedroom type, the price trend was also stagnant until 2021. So from time to time, developers will increase the price for the different bedroom types. And at the point of time that you want to buy into the project, you can go and check whether which unit type has already moved up quite significantly. So what we can do is that we can avoid the unit type where the price has already moved up rapidly and focus on the unit type that the price hasn't moved up as much. So why is it people are still willing to pay a higher price compared to the earlier neighbors? Well, this has to do with the project reaching TOP, where buyers can collect the keys and immediately move in. Some buyers cannot wait and they need that immediate stay. So even though that there's an increase in the PSF, let's say about 200 PSF increase for a 700 square feet size, this would give you about 140k, which when divided is equivalent to about 3 years of renting outside at 3,800 per month. So pre-launch day, definitely you have a lot more choices, but that's also depending if you have a good queue number and the units that you're eyeing for is not taken by a ballot number in front of you. So it's really based on luck. And however, for pre-launch, the price itself is not released onto the ballot day itself. So this leaves you in a very pressure cooker environment because you'll be filled with FOMO. During balloting, you will see an elevation chart where people will be pasting the stickers saying, this unit is sold, that unit is taken up. And if you cannot decide the unit that you want or the unit that you are looking for has been taken up, then you would be placed into a thinking corner where you have to quickly decide your unit. And if you don't, the ballot number behind you gets to choose their units. So you'll be very pressurized to choose a unit on the spot. Compared to post-launch, the prices are already released, and then you can do your homework and calculate the difference between each stack and unit type. Because you don't want to just pick any units without analyzing different facing, different stacks have a different price attached to it. So it's a very big financial purchase. Also for post-launch, your waiting time for it to be built is shorter. So this would reduce your upfront rental costs and any costs that you have if you don't have a parent's place to stay. So actually, if everyone is rushing in to buy, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's a good deal. Some projects with a high take-up rate perform poorly. You can consider some post-launch inventory in the market where projects have not sold out yet but are still within the sweet spot. So missing out on launch day isn't the end of the world. In fact, it can be even beneficial. So there are two choices. You can rush in on the launch day and get exposed to this overwhelming pressure to book a unit. Or you can take your time as a buyer in an empty show flat to make a rational decision. But what's also important is that you have an objective voice at the side safeguarding your interests while you make such a big decision. So if you need someone to help you to analyze which projects are still within the sweet spot and to catch the boat, you can reach out to me at my number below, and I can see you in my next video. Alright, bye!